What if this vase is cursed, okay?
Back off, bitch. I ain't leaving until I get that vase.
If this vase has a curse on it, you do not want to touch it.
How do you hit me again? It's Deandra's fault. She gave me the wrong directions.
Actually, pretty
this way, that way.
It was Steve's fault. I was trying to give directions and she interrupted.
And she buttoned me.
Let's talk about Luke Skywalker, the greatest Jedi Grandmaster ever.
No!
Oh, what the?
No, that's a show off.
Unless what they're showing off is dope as fuck.
Fuck.
You just call whoever you want to, and then people are like,
And not at all in the rebellion, but she's like, that.
Come on, man. What? Cannot do. Really? But there was a firefight! No. Cows, Han, Solo, a Someday!
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
It's phase time, bitches. What?
It's vase time, bitches. Welcome back to It's a Vase Productions, where today we're doing another episode of the Kerfuffle, which is basically where I have some guests on and we talk about what sort of madness is happening in the pop culture universe and just in the world, whatever. Today I have some great guests with me, the Rookie Critic and Flipped Out, founders of the Fandom Collective, which is an amazing group on Twitter and on YouTube that helps promote YouTube pages and creators, and they've helped promote me, and it's a wonderful way to get in touch with a wonderful supportive group of creators. And if you need links to anything like that, it's in the description below, so you can check it out. But in the meanwhile, while you have a chance to do that, let's hear from our guests and hear who they are and what they do, starting out right there with the Rookie Critic. Hey, how's it going, man?
What's up, man? Going good. Good to be on your show over here. Yeah, I'm the Rookie Critic. My buddy Flipped Out. Yeah, we love to help people out, help people rise, find new people, help get them into the community, help people collaborate and network and everything. That's what we love to do. I've started to get some content back up on the channel, and over there it's been a little dry for a while, but now it's getting filled up nice and wet, so that's good. And while I'm on vacation, I'm going to be watching a bunch of films. I have a list of 20 movies to watch, and I just watched 2 of them. I did a stream earlier today, going to do another one after this, and just watched Citizen Kane for the first time. So, oh yeah, I can give my thoughts on that. And yeah, that's on my end.
The Rookie Critic. All right. So you can check out his channel, linked below. And we also have with us Flipped Out. Tell us about yourself, Flipped Out.
Hey guys, I'm not doing a whole lot on my personal channel right now because I've just turned the throttle up and going full force into Fandom Collective, and me and my buddy Rookie Critic making it happen, trying to promote. We've actually just become a company. We're an LLC, Fandom Collective Promotions, and we're in this deep, so we're going full throttle, guys.
Shut up and take my money.
That is awesome. Way to go, fellas.
Yeah.
The Fandom Collective. I've been a fan and a part of the Fandom Collective for over a year, I think, at this point.
Since the beginning.
Yeah, they do amazing work over there just in, what is it, the Rise Together.
Oh, yeah, hashtag Rise Together, brother.
There's a couple of variations on that, but we love them all, so it's awesome.
Help me to help you. Help me to help you. Help me to
That's
help
it.
you.
Pretty much. Help me.
I love it, yeah.
Help you.
Help me infinity. Help me help you infinity. Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, you can check out in the links below. There's links to everything, their personal YouTubes and Twitters, as well as the Phantom Collective. If you want to get involved with that, is also down there. So make sure you check it out. Now then, on to this week's kerfuffling. The first topic, which, if you can tell from that intro, is just random fights.
Oh, yeah, so we're going to get in a fight now, huh? No?
We don't necessarily need to be. It's more of the things that people are fighting about, and I want to hear like our thoughts about them. And mostly I like to hear from my guests because people can hear my nonsense anytime. But
all right.
So the first thing we have on the docket is everyone knows now that Scarlett Johansson is suing Marvel. And she's suing about the fact that they released the Disney Plus version of Black Widow at the same time as the theatrical release. And now we've heard, since that came up, that Shang-Chi will not be getting a Disney Plus release, at least until it has 45 days in theaters exclusively. So I just want to hear you guys' thoughts. Like, do you think that's directly related? Do you like... What are your thoughts on this whole A, the suing thing, and B, Shang-Chi not being on Disney Plus?
When you say put on Disney Plus, it's put behind a paywall behind. Even if you have Disney Plus, there's another paywall to get to it, right?
It's $30 usually for that.
Hey.
If it's a new movie. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the same price if it's not a direct, like after 45 days, maybe we'll, since that's the deal for Shang-Chi. It's going to be in theaters for 45 days first. Will they change the price once that comes out, or like, who knows?
I mean, my thoughts are pretty quick on it. I think Black Widow is extremely well known, built pretty much from the beginning of the MCU, and Shang-Chi isn't. And so she is very well known. That's something good they can put on their roster, whether or not it was a good film. She's well known, and just people wanted to see that anyway. So having that on their video catalog was probably a good idea. Shang-Chi, having that on their Disney Plus, people probably wouldn't care, especially maybe, I don't know if Mulan had anything to do with that either back then. I don't know. Hard to say. I can't imagine as many people going to see Shang-Chi, but I don't know.
What do you think about it? Flipped out?
Let's see. The guy who plays Shang-Chi was really ticked off at I can't remember his name.
Whoever called it an experiment.
Yeah, that guy.
It's just an experimental film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good chance that his crew, his group is gonna, maybe boycott. Asians may boycott it based on that. I mean, there's that. They're going to have it in the theater for 45 days. For what real reason? I have no clue. If that's the question, I have no clue.
Well, that's so they can say it's a theater exclusive release for at least that amount of time. That was part of the Black Widow lawsuit, is that they had implied to her in the contract, it was implied strongly that it would be a theater exclusive release. And then they released it on Disney Plus at the same time. And she's alleging that she lost out on money from that.
Bob Chapek, that's his name. Yeah. So that Bob, if you remember the other Bob, I can't remember his last name, but he's the one who's running the
Bob Iger.
Iger.
He was the one before, yeah.
It was strongly implied to George Lucas that, he would be involved in it, in the choices and decisions and such. Obviously, they like to lie at Disney. So,
yeah.
So why they're really, I think the way that they're doing it kind of fits the narrative of, no, it doesn't. It's the opposite of staying home. They want people back in the theaters. I think that's all they're trying to do, really, is get people to get back in the theaters.
Well, I don't know, because
they make more money if it's just we stream it to you. You pay us $30. Now, would it cost more to go to the theaters? Possibly, because if you get popcorn and drinks, but that's all part of the theaters making money, Disney making money, and that's part of this whole lawsuit too. Is
theaters doesn't make that much money, but
the theaters are upset as well.
But Disney loses a little bit of money, and they'd rather make more of the money.
So what's the catch? How do they make money off this? Why have it in the theaters for 45 days?
That's what I find weird, and that's why he's saying it could be because of the lawsuit ScarJo is doing, that
at least until that's settled,
that they weren't going to do that they were going to have it be on Disney. Is that what could have been, but then ScarJo's got this out, so it's like,
you don't want to risk that happening more until you have you want to get the precedent.
That makes most sense. Yeah, the cover in their own ass.
And once they have a precedent set, and now this way, oh look, it's in theaters for 45 days. And someone else was saying, like, well, you can compare this to Black Widow and see if this one makes more money, then they should have left Black Widow in theaters. And I was like, it's not the same thing because that's a different set of circumstances. If you wanted to check to see if they were exactly the same, you would let this one go on Disney Plus and see if the drop off was the same. But Black Widow was a unique case in and of itself. It wasn't like a new Marvel movie continuing the story. It was a prequel type thing about a character that we already know the fate of. Yeah. So the only people that were going to go see this were chomping at the bit to go see it. And guess what? They saw it as soon as they could because it was coming out too late before it got delayed. Then it got delayed. Yeah. And so when they finally came out, everyone who wanted to see it went and saw it, be it by theater or by Disney Plus. But guess what about that movie? It's not something that you're like, I got to go see that again.
No,
you don't.
Gonna be the garbage. It's the junk food.
Yeah,
they had a burger. They had a burger, and it's done.
The huge drop off was not surprising to me, at least for that. Now, would it have been less of so if it had been only in theaters? Maybe, but again, you got to take into consideration the circumstances of the Black Widow movie, and it's like, and second of all, she already got paid like what, $20 million, $30 million, and so
money.
Yeah.
Plus, this is unfortunate. I think a lot of people probably saw Black Widow in theaters or Disney or what, I don't know, because pandemic stuff. And then as far as Shang-Chi goes, it's hard to say where we'll be at that point now with theaters. But then also a lot of people, unfortunately, are going, okay, so I went to the theater and didn't care. I'd rather see it at home. Like some people are with the chance of being able to go see a movie and then wanting to rather see it at home. Why would I have a nice TV, I have a nice system. Why bother? I can just watch it here, spend a little bit. And unfortunately, it seems to be like where a lot of it's going to go, or at least a big majority. There's going to be probably a huge percentage hit on theaters. So I don't know if having it in theaters for 45 days, it seems like a long time to have a movie in theaters in general.
It's a month and a half.
Well, I guess in the modern day, because sometimes the movie would be in a theater for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah. But the question is, after that time, because the technology has now caught up to distribution.
Yeah.
Like that used to be a whole thing with movies. When everything was shot on film, you had to literally reduplicate the film and then carry the film. And I used to work as a projectionist when you had to cut the film together because it wouldn't just arrive like, here's your movie. It would arrive in, a strong person carrying 2 giant crates which had 6 or 3 reels apiece in them. And then as a projectionist, I had to put those all on a giant tray and cut them together. And that's what Fight Club's about, by the way. If you see that point where there's like the burn in the corner, it's like that's the cutting burn that they put in there to let you know where you're supposed to splice it, as if you couldn't tell because literally there's 2 ends and you put them together. But that's part of the job of the projectionist. And that used to be a thing. You had to literally distribute the movie. That's like when you talk about distributors, those are going out now. And it was kind of progressing along at the natural pace, so to speak, until COVID hit and just like nuked it into fast forward hyperdrive. It was like, maybe we were going to find out where this would have gone naturally, but since people are staying at home and we have the technology, now it's going. And so now we have this like metronome of like correcting and overcorrecting, and we're going to see where we end up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
it sounds like that Shang-Chi and or whoever the actor is and ScarJo probably had similar contracts, and they realized it after the lawsuit, and they're like, you know what we better do? Save some money and not get another lawsuit thing happening because we want to take this new Asian kid a real long way.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it's one thing when they're in trouble for a woman. It's another thing when they're in trouble for Asians or for race with Disney. It's like, so women, it happens a lot.
And you can talk about,
gotta be careful.
She was already on her way out anyway,
That's true.
Yeah.
So why not? It's
brutal.
kind of and that's why, again, while I have a trouble being like super like, oh, poor Scarlett Johansson, let's all rise to her defense. I'm just like, you're a millionaire, all right?
Yeah, it's like
other
more
people have
than
suffered worse from the COVID thing than like you and Disney. which is a factor in all of this. But
yeah, it's like if she was paid $5 million for it compared to $30 million. Like I don't know what's the. I mean, unfortunately, it's like okay, I really don't know how actors get paid these days. Like I don't know why they're paid a certain amount specifically all the time. Do we want to move into that, or is there something else you wanted to do before we go into
coin?
Might as
You
well
get paid with Dogecoin.
well, so Flip, I don't know if you know more about this or
down payment and then like an agreement based off. It depends on what your contract is. Like, will you be getting money based off theater sales? Will you be getting money based off residuals, aka when it's played anywhere else after the fact? Like
all of the above.
Give me like I want a percentage of toy sales, and like and so it depends on what you can negotiate into your contract, and that's why this thing with Black Widow is even if I don't sympathize with her, yes, like she may end up being in the right contractually. So
I guess I mean when they initially hire them, and I assume they filmed stuff, and before they get any sales, they make some kind of money regardless if the movie makes money, right? Like.
Well, again, that just depends on your contract. Like, how are you getting paid? You can say no money up front, but you're going to get paid through like theater sales. That could be your agreement. Or you could say, I want $5 million up front and then like a certain. So it all depends on how your agreement is put. And then producer credits. You have to put me in as a executive producer on this, even if I didn't do jack, but just act in it. I get to get that credit or that certain thing because
I would assume that whatever they negotiate for, they usually get some kind of. I would assume they get a minimum before the movie even makes any money. I would assume, but
again,
I don't know because some of the films they film and have to scrap completely. At least a couple films anyway, where they film halfway and then nothing happens. Like, did they get paid for that at all? Like. Or just that was a half a year wasted.
It really depends on what you're contractually going into.
Entertainment contracts, whether you're a musician or like an actor, or if you're a sports player, it depends on how big a draw you can bring to the theater or to the stadium or to wherever you are. But
supply and demand.
There is like a certain amount. Like with sports players, they can get a yearly contract. They can also get multi-year contracts, but also, parts of the sales of merchandise or, ticket sales or stuff like that. And it works that way generally.
And that's why you get a manager / lawyer / person to negotiate your contract and not you, the talent, because what you're good at is being talented. And what they do is make sure you don't get screwed out of tons of money because,
or they screw you,
or if you have a terrible agent, they
want you to make enough money to pay them to do their job.
Well, that's the Boys in the Hood, straight out of Compton story is how they got screwed by their manager. That's half the whole story. Is like they trusted this guy with their money and he took it, and afterwards, you can't just be like, hey, he took my money. It's like, well, you signed away the ability to do that. You signed the legal documents. And it's like, but I didn't know what they meant. It's like, well, it was his job to help you, and he didn't. So, kill him, I guess.
Slick. Real slick.
So, it's a huge issue. And I think that the outcome of the, lawsuit and everything will set that precedent for how contracts are drawn up as far as theaters and streaming go. This is kind of a big deal.
Well, it's interesting. It makes me just think about too, like when Robert Downey Jr. was first Iron Man. I forget how much he got paid. I think he got paid $5 million or something.
I thought it was like $50,000. It wasn't a.
I don't remember. It was a lower amount than he's worth now. And then like
that was his comeback.
And then when Brie Larson did Captain Marvel, she was getting paid around the same that he's currently getting paid. And it's like the difference in star power and significance is so weird, but she was like getting paid around the same or something at her first start.
Right. Well, it's
I don't remember these specifics.
Well, it's partially, I could say, because Robert Downey Jr. had his checkered past. Iron Man kind of brought him back from that. That's why they were able to like get him cheap. as it were, because that was him after like he went to jail and was coming out of that. People didn't have tons of faith in this guy.
Yeah, but I'm saying that by now he's built up. Like he is Iron Man as much as Iron Man is
I would
him.
also say that Brie Larson had done a lot of work, and also she knew the producers of Infinity War, or the directors. So that's who directed that. The Russo brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They were producers on Community. She was in Community for a couple seasons, and then as Abed's girlfriend. So she had a relationship with them.
But I'm talking about for the film Captain Marvel, not for Infinity War.
Okay, yeah, but even for that, if they decided they were going to put her in it, she also had some other things to her name by that point, and she was more of a. She had like Scott Pilgrim. She played in that. She was more of a guarantee at that point, but then that was before she started saying all the stuff that she was saying outside of the films and using the films so that she could say things. Yeah. And so they were like, it probably based on her just knowing the directors of Infinity War, and even that movie came out like in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. So, well, I guess it's just because like if you took Iron
it's ridiculous.
Man,
I agree.
Guess, I know it's just like because like if we're talking about the value of what you'd pay an actor or something, it's like take him on a movie and it makes however much. Take him out of a movie, might make a lot less. As to where put her in a movie, and then take her out. I feel like he would be bringing more with his presence now.
But also has to do with marketing, because it's not just about star power, because there are movies that these people are in that no one went to see, despite who's in it. Like Dr. Dolittle, that's got Robert Downey Jr. in it. Nobody went to see that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like so it's not just enough to have the star power, but yeah, that definitely does get you. I'm sure he got paid a ton of money for that.
No, he didn't. Not for Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, really?
Because he loved it.
Well, because that's kind of like what we were talking about before too. Like Nicolas Cage, as far as like, I really wonder how he gets paid, because it's like he does movies that could make nothing or could be a huge hit. And I like the film Pig that he did this year is it looks like a very low budget film. Looks really good though, but like it looks still low budget compared to like some action one like Ghost Rider or something. And Willy's Wonderland also seems like could have been a little spendy, but there weren't too many locations. That one could have been cheap. Doesn't say any dialogue in it. And you look at Con Air, you look at these explosions and stuff in that film and all the craziness with that. And you look at Face Off and it's like, I have no idea what this man's worth. Like if he were to be in my movie or something, it's like what would be enough to what kind of thing would it be worth to pay this guy?
There's an entire episode of Community like just about Nicolas Cage, and I can't stop thinking about it right now because it drives the film student insane trying to analyze Nick Cage. He's like, there's a good kind of bad and a bad kind of good. Johnny Depp's the bad kind of good.
Right.
Brad Pitt's the good kind of bad. Like, yeah, there's different things that like, and he's like, what's Nicolas Cage? Everybody's something. I have a scale. And then he goes insane in class and it starts freaking out like Nicolas Cage. And at the end, the film professor is like, that was brilliant.
Yes, brilliant.
Like, there's no answer though. There is no answer.
Yes.
Nicolas Cage is an enigma wrapped in a.
That's good. But yeah. I might look into how people get paid more as I go on, because that's intriguing me now. It's a lot more complex than I thought it'd be to figure out what you pay an actor. So more interested.
Well, and think about how George Lucas initially made his money. Like, when he negotiated his contract, he was like, give me the toy money. And at that time, that wasn't a huge deal. So they were like, yeah, okay. And then boom. And then it became a whole thing.
Right.
Literally just entire shows made to sell toys and such.
Good point.
So it's definitely like that became a huge, and residuals, like, what Friends or shows that get played over and over again. Now that was, of course, when it was like TV channels or stations buying the rights to things, but now it's streaming services buying the rights to things, and how much do people watch them, and how much is it worth, and how long do you get it before it's gone? That's why Netflix doesn't have just like a permanent selection of stuff. It's like, no, they've bought that, the ability. We purchased the right to play this for X amount of time.
Yeah, that's why I still encourage people buy DVDs or Blu-rays if they can, because you have Netflix and streaming and stuff, but how long is it going to be there for?
Yeah, or until it gets bought out, and like Disney bought out Fox. Is everything that Fox has ever made available on Disney Plus? No, it's not.
Why not? I don't think everything. I don't think everything made by Disney's on there.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
There's some things missing.
Who's they? What the hell is an aluminum falcon?
Exactly.
Anyway, let's move on to our next topic, which is, where's that Spider-Man trailer? Spider-Man! People have been predicting that this trailer would be coming out every week for the past infinity weeks. Now, it still hasn't happened. People are still wondering when it's going to come out. The latest rumor is, and I think there's some possibility to this one, is that it's going to be coming out before Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, again, is theater exclusive.
That could be part of the reason why. Yeah, I didn't put those two together. It could be part of the reason why. They want you to, because it's a big movie that goes into Multiverse of Madness and also plays into their streaming shows, Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
So when they show you any little bit of the Spider-Man movie, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I figured half the movie out. It's the
that's actually a really good point. Yeah, it's only in the theater. You got 45 days. It's over a month you'd have to wait before you can see anything like that on here. If they wait to show the Spider-Man trailer at all until it's in theaters, like if they don't even release that on the internet or anything, like
it would be hard once it comes out in theaters. It's going to be very hard for them to keep it off the internet. So.
Have they ever made a theater exclusive trailer?
Yeah,
I mean that's what all trailers are supposed to be, or were.
Because now they're always just instantly on YouTube.
No, the Phantom Menace trailer was exclusively in the theater, and people went to some crappy movie just to see the trailer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, but back in that day, it wasn't like as soon as it played in the theater, because things were still on film even back then. Like that was still.
But that was very baby early internet at the time. Like,
that's the thing. Nowadays, it's like. Once it gets out.
Yeah, in the internet age, I wonder if they ever try to keep it exclusive. If anything comes up online, it'd be not their footage or something.
Well, it was more than online. It was also like on Entertainment Tonight or on TV or the news, or what was the other one? Siskel and Ebert.
Of course, but that's the return of something everybody wants to see more of. As to where, like, just in general, like the Spider-Man 3 trailer, Marvel's been going on for over 10 years now. Same kind of a thing. It's just everywhere. And in the age of everything going on the internet, have they ever done an exclusive trailer in the last 15 years?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Like it's just theater exclusive. Like I have to go to the movie theater to see the trailer.
If they post it on their YouTube or whatever, then they can put ads on it.
Mm-hmm.
But they also usually don't copyright claim trailer music and things like that. It depends on what music is used, but a lot of trailer music I've noticed, because I've made like fake trailers for different things, don't get copyright claimed or anything like that, because they want people to be like reacting to the trailer. That's free publicity for them. So part of the reason they do that, I think, is because they want people to be sharing the trailers as much as possible to get them to actually go to the movie.
Yeah.
Until you get your YouTube channel and then they're like, copyright claim.
I've never, copyright claim, I've never had a copyright strike or anything like that against a trailer.
Yeah.
The biggest one I had a problem with was that first Suicide Squad trailer.
That one played a lot of other people's songs specifically.
It was Queen. Yeah, it was Queen. Yeah. So they were just like, we noticed Queen. If we're going to claim this and the money will go to Queen. And I was like, fine, I have to make a version. I made a version for Nolan's trilogy. I took the villains out of that and made a trailer for that Suicide Squad.
I had a copyright claim on the Rise of Skywalker trailer.
Ugh.
I was working as sprint. I made the quickest little video. I said something in the beginning and then just played the trailer, and that was it. So I uploaded it.
Not a strike though.
Well, they took it. They blocked it.
Oh, they did. They blocked it.
Yeah.
Well, because with the claim, they can also choose what to do with it.
Yeah.
Still, so they can choose
claims all the time.
So they can choose to just make sure people don't see it.
Yeah, it wasn't a strike.
Yeah, people can go. We choose to have people not see that.
But there's other people that will block it entirely. Like most AC/DC song. Like if I make a music video with a Foo Fighters song, usually it'll just be like any money that is made off this, if any money was to ever be made off this, will go to Foo Fighters. And I'm like, sweet, I don't care. Just as long as you let me show other people this thing that I made. AC/DC will just like block it. They'll be like, no, that's AC/DC music. No one can see this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah,
what do you
insane.
like? Why wouldn't you at least go the way that the other, like, claim it? So like you can make money off of this.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know, that's personal choice. I guess they want to be like AC/DC is the only ones, and like Iron Man, and that's a real shame because I wanted to make some Iron Man AC/DC music videos, but it's pointless because no one would be able to see it.
True. Yeah, that's quite the strategy, though. It's like, okay, so release a theater exclusive Marvel film that's going to lead into the next big old things they're going to be doing. Have an exclusive Spider-Man 3 trailer, and then also have it be where people will have to hear about it through word of mouth to either go see the trailer, 2 go see the movie, and for 45 days, that's what that'll be for. I assume the trailer and the movie. I don't know how long they keep the trailer exclusive, but that'd be one strategy.
But that literally, when the Phantom Menace, that example that I think Flip brought up, when that movie, people went to the crappy movie to watch, and then tons of people just left the theater.
Yep, everybody.
Afterwards, they were like, ticket price is worth seeing the preview for the next Star Wars movie that's going to come out. Boom, I'm out, and that's it. And so, but again, that was a slightly different time. Yeah, but I can still see them using that same strategy to like, as a reward for going to see Shang-Chi opening day, you get to see, and who wouldn't want to, like, big screen
Spider-Man trailer is
better than someone who like taped it under their hand from like the theater.
Yeah, we didn't have the luxury of phones that recorded decently.
You had to have like
we had the big ass camcorder. Yeah.
Interesting that you had a giant handbag with you.
You guys brought in a giant. Yeah, what's that giant bag filled with? It's for our heart. We're all dying. It's to make sure we don't die. You want us to die? No. Then shut up.
Caught with the camera, but I did get caught with 20 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
Giant 10-gallon hat with the lens on the front.
It's the decoy. The burgers are the decoys. So they go, "Hey, you try and sneak food in, and we stop you." Okay, you got me. I'm
going to sell this movie.
Yes.
On VHS tapes.
Hell yeah.
Yes, I'll bootleg it, and it'll look like crap.
Just hit me up on my beeper, man. I got you fixed.
Yeah.
What's in the fucking box?
Sell it for $4 on
VHS pirated videos.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was originally about Spider-Man and the Spider-Man trailer.
I am curious of Spider-Man. It sounds like it'll be good.
It seems like, again, it's going to be a bunch of stuff that's very important going forward, aka Doctor Strange is going to be in it. They've confirmed that that Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 back in the day.
Yeah, they accidentally
is going to be in it. Like
the guy, what's his name? Mendez, or I can't remember his name. The guy that played Doc Ock. That guy, he accidentally let the cat out of the bag a while back, and then he had to make a statement saying, "Oh, I don't really know that. I'm just kidding." But then when they did an interview with him later, he was like, "Oh, they allow me to tell you now that I'm in it."
Yeah, well, what are you gonna like?
Right.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Marvel's good at making things sound or look good, but then not being good.
Oh, absolutely.
So a lot of people we're gonna like. Exactly.
Sorry, that's from my show MCU Mondays. That's the Boner Alert, created because of Ralph Boner, and we all know was just a nonsense character. But also you think of the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 and how they
Castrated that character.
now they're trying to correct it, and I'm looking at the trailers and I'm like, oh, that's not the 10 rings, but we'll see. I don't know. It's just trailers. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Rookie. I think I cut you off with that boner alert.
That's all right. It's just like, I don't know, their last, I don't know how many movies they've made or shows, like, I don't know, none of them seemed very grabbing to me, I guess. And a lot of people that stuck through and watched a lot of them were liking WandaVision and then hated WandaVision, similar to Game of Thrones, I guess. Like, oh, we love this. Holy crap, you dropped the ball. And then, like, Winter Soldier, Falcon, like, looks like it's something people would enjoy, but from what I hear, it's just not that great either. And then Loki, like Angus and some other people have liked it and enjoyed that. But ultimately, it's like, hey, all the stuff that you saw before was all not how it was. In fact, they had no choice to do it the way they did with the previous MCU. Loki or Kang, was the reason. It's just like, okay, all right. Like, I don't know. I just lose interest.
Of those also left you with more questions than like the start of it did. Like
but
WandaVision, it's like, what happened to this guy? That person just flew away. What's going on here? Loki is just like, what the hell?
Yeah, for me, I don't see that as a positive, really, because
I'm not saying that that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
that
it falls into the MCU mire of like, we have to make this connect to something else. We have to make this lead. But if you do that too much, then you don't have a self-contained story. It's great when you do that and you have a little tease at the end to the next
like
thing.
the first couple Marvel films were good at like, this is the story and it is done. But what's that other thing that could happen? Okay, but like the story is resolved and completed, and then
it's a self-contained.
Nick Fury's like, you want to hear about the Avengers? Okay, that's about it.
Tease for the next thing, but you still had your own personal story, and that's the thing that I felt about like WandaVision. At the end of it, it was just like, here's several more questions, and also some of them were never answered. But literally, the last episode presented you with some new questions, and then the same thing with Loki, even more so. If anything, like the last episode was just like, what? Yeah. What was the purpose of any of this? What's going on? What? And now they're like, season 2 of Loki will come like after 2024, and it's like, good lord.
Well, that means everything we're going to watch in the future is going to lead up to more questions.
It's just like, even if they continue the universe, I wish they'd have some finality with stuff, like, because now it seems like Endgame didn't even feel like a finale anymore. Like, it's just like, no, that was just I'm okay if there's more stuff that continues after it, but it's like, there's no build up to anything else. It's just things happening. It seems like I haven't watched any of them, just from what it all appeared, like, just the amount of stuff that's come out, what people said about them in general. It's just like, what's the thread? Is there any connecting tissue with any of them? Like, that is the point to watch them all?
The shows,
movies that have come out since Endgame.
If you're interested in the continuing, and that's the thing that I'm interested to see, like what happens once the movies start coming out, because I'm interested to see how much the shows actually influence the movies and vice versa. Like, if you're an MCU fan and you want to continue watching MCU, are you going to have to watch every MCU show in order to watch every movie? Or how much so, and that's kind of even watching the What If series right now. If they feel rushed, but they get to do that because they're basically based upon an MCU movie you've already seen, just something else happens. So like the first one was based off Captain America, but you have Peggy instead of, and then it's like, what happens there? And then the second one's like T'Challa instead of Star Wars. And that one, I gotta say, like, while I've been like enjoying them, I've got Disney Plus. My sister has it, and I use her account, so I watch everything when it comes out. And I like the animation style. Some of the stuff is a little bit almost too corny, but I guess they're trying to do animation. But that how you can get away with some more campy stuff in animation. But I'm still kind of not sure about that. But the T'Challa episode, especially, I was just like, it seemed like the entire time every single character was just like
kissing his ass.
You're the best.
Yeah.
To a overwhelming degree that I was just like, this isn't even a interesting story. Everyone just thinks this guy's amazing.
The premise of What If is good. It's the execution. It's like What If the Diverse series. It's like, can you get off the Diverse series and just do What If like anything else?
And that's why I was excited more for like when they're going to get to Doctor Strange, because that I think is going to actually influence the actual MCU possibly, because again, we're leading up to Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
This is specifically being talked about as the multiverse. And in the trailers, we've seen Doctor Strange talking to other Doctor Stranges and fighting them.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's even like the Doctor Strange of the prime timeline, if you will, like the one that we're familiar with from the MCU.
Mhm.
And so that could have an effect on what's going to happen in his own movie.
I get
And
that.
so maybe that's another reason why they're waiting to put like the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer out, because according to tons of different rumors, like again, he's in it, and with these other multiverse stuff, it definitely seems like all of that's going to be coming into play.
Well, they put themselves in a real predicament because Doctor Strange was supposed to be in WandaVision as well, and then he was in one of their they had a live stream at the very end, right before the last two episodes. Benedict Cumberbatch was in that live stream, and he pops up out of nowhere right when they said, "Oh, someone's going to be in our next show," or whatever. So then people are expecting to see him, and of course they're like, "Oh, we subverted your expectations. We couldn't have a white guy be the one who solves everything, so we took him out." Now you go to see the next movie, and you're like, "Well, what are the next show?" And you're expecting, well, I've heard rumors, and usually they say they're not true, but they're always true. Well, it's the opposite now. Now they say they're true, and then they're not.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's a bait and switch. And sometimes they do it intentionally. I won't want to say it started here, but like Infinity War, when we had the trailer come out for that, and they had Hulk running forward in Wakanda with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally admitted that they filmed that or made that specifically for the trailer, specifically to mislead people so they wouldn't know what was going to happen. And it's like, I don't think that's what the point of what a trailer is.
Well, I'm okay with that in a way, because sometimes because of people that are going there are going, oh, so the Hulk's going to be there, expecting that when they go in. But at the very beginning, no, you get something different. The Hulk doesn't come back the rest of the film. It's a little, I don't know, because sometimes trailers spoil a lot of stuff.
Well, then you can
I'm okay
not watch trailers. I know people that do that. They're like, oh, I'm not going to watch trailers. Now, again, most of those people aren't in like the business of stuff that we kind of do, like talking about pop culture, blah, 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 having to be knowledgeable about. But and so it's like, I think that's an interesting way to go about it. Like there's a guy I know, he's like, I never watch trailers before I go see a movie. I just want to see the movie. And I'm like,
well, but sometimes they're not intentionally watching a trailer. They're watching a video, and then an ad pops up that is a trailer. They're not expecting to see one, but it comes up anyway. To have the bait and switch there or whatever. Sometimes I think it's all right. It depends, I guess.
And it happens the other way. Well, there's the way that happened in Rogue One, where they had reshoots. They were like, we need to get a trailer out, and they put out a trailer based on some excellent footage that they had, but then they reshot the film, the ending changed. And if you go watch the trailer that came out, you'll see tons of scenes. Them running across the beach with the Death Star plans, her fighting like a TIE fighter on that bridge, and it's like none of that's in the film.
That's a different thing, I guess, because they were intending to literally to release one version, and then got changed, and then had different ones. It didn't change the marketing, so unfortunately, but
it's a unique circumstance, but
it's always I always notice when I go to see a movie. And if there's a scene that I really like from the trailer, I keep waiting to see it, and then it never happens. And I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. It's interesting because it's like, if I'm going to see the trailer, because that's the thing too. Sometimes I think it's good to see one because you don't know what the movie is. Why would you spend your money to go see it if you have no idea what it is? And sometimes the title gives something away. Sometimes the cover gives something away. The trailer gives something away. So it's like, if you want to go completely blind, I don't know. You just go up to the counter and go pick a movie. and I'll see it. Like I don't know. That's kind of impossible to do these days, or very difficult to do these days. And do you want to do that, or you want something that piques your interest a little bit? So you're going to look into it in some way, shape, or form.
Yep. That's why the trailer business is so tricky and so fun, and I admire it so much because you can use music that's not in the film. Apparently, you can use scenes that aren't in the film, and your only goal is to get people emotionally invested in going to see the film.
I'm sure it's commercial.
It's
marketing.
It's really, but like, yeah, it is. It's that exactly. But it's so funny because people aren't usually like with the trailer song. Obviously, most of the time that trailer is not actually going to be in the movie, but you see it in the trailer and you're just like, this is awesome. This song and like the way it fits together with the music, like the way that fits together with the visuals and everything is like, yeah, they did that on purpose for a 2-minute segment to get you like, man, that looks awesome. I want to see the whole thing. And then you see the whole thing and it's like, what? That's like the original Suicide Squad. That trailer blew everyone away. People were psyched.
True.
And then they saw the movie. They were like, what?
I feel like with that one, it was like, wow, things look cool. And then you're like watching the movie play and you're just like, this is so lame. No,
this isn't quite. And there are parts of that movie that I really do like, it, if only probably because it's just like, if you show me a movie that's got superheroes in it, I'm going to find something I like about it. Probably.
You're referring to Suicide Squad or The Suicide Squad?
The first one, yeah, the David Ayer Suicide Squad. There's definitely the newer one. I saw that recently.
Yeah,
I thought that was better. It was better than the first one.
I agree.
It's not like
the Star.
It's not like an amazing. It's not gonna like. Blow
I have
your
it.
mind
I have it
like
as a midway 5 out of 10.
It's a good, like almost like an 80s war film or set. Kind of that aesthetic to it with that kind of almost like Tropic Thunder, but like with superheroes. But that one's too meta. I don't know. I enjoyed it more than the first one. It definitely held together better. It was self-aware. I liked some of the humor, most of the humor better. And John Cena, actually, I've never seen him wrestle, but I'm a fan of his comedic acting work, and he's good in this.
I mean, like, I give it a full 5 out of 10, just straight down the middle, because there's a lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff. Some of the good stuff, I think, is like the whole Rick Flag versus the Peacemaker little thing over the chip.
With the helmet, too.
Yeah, with the helmet too, sure. But like, the fact that one of them is like, I'll kill any man, woman, and child to protect America. Another one's like, I'd take down America to protect those women and children and men that you would kill. And they're battling each other over that. And I don't care about Rick Flag, and especially even after he was in 2 of the movies. But this scene, I'm like invested in this. I'm like, oh, holy shit, this is good. And when he got killed, I was glad he got killed. But it was like, in a way that's like, man, the John Cena's character Peacemaker did not want to kill him. Like, he's like, I really respect you, but like, I am doing my job, and I will end you if I have to. And when he sees like, the rat
catcher,
I'll say the rat taker, the rat wrangler,
rat catcher too, yeah.
Rat catcher. And when he sees her take it, he's like pissed because he's like gonna have to kill her too. He's like, I don't want to kill you, I don't, but I'm thorough.
If it comes down to it. And yeah, there's an earlier, I think Bloodsport says to him earlier in the movie, he's like, I think you just use liberty as an excuse to kill whoever you want. But then in that scene, you see like,
yeah, he doesn't want to kill people,
but he's also willing to like kill even good people to finish his mission. Like and he's kind of that like soldier trained for the mission, ultimate mission. He's going to do what it takes to finish the mission. Whereas Bloodsport's kind of this like mercenary, oh, I'll do whatever for money. And that's how people look at him. But at the end of it, he's kind of like, it's not for money. It's not for his life. It's just to do the right thing. And that's kind of this.
Yeah. Well, and like Flag was the full on for the, for doing the job for the heart. Like they all had 3 different aspects that are very similar, but just different by that little bit that when all in at once is a huge way to clash. I don't know. So they did some things pretty well.
Yeah.
film. I hated the amount of rats that were at the end. It just seemed like, I know that there's a lot of rats, but like that just looked like thousands and thousands in one spot so quick in what, I don't know, whatever city that is, but it's like, I don't know, it just seemed a little, I don't know.
I guess we're going to have to look up rat statistics because I know what you mean. It was literally a flood of rats. It was just, here are all of the rats, and it's just a wave upon, it's not even wave upon wave, it's just a constant flow of rats. But I got to wonder, in a city, I know rats are bad in cities, and I've seen them in cities and even not. So I don't know. Maybe if you just actually called them out of all the sewers, and like if you had the ability to summon every rat to a single location, would it look like that?
So my criticism wouldn't just be that there's that much rats. If you could prove, okay, there would be that many rats. My thing is more, it just seems like a weird way to end it with the starfish thing, to have it be killed was by rats for the most part. It was like, it felt like the ghosts in Lord of the Rings that can just flood over everything and kill them, but that was like extremely built up through a lot of stuff and a lot of things, and it was all built up for something. And this was just like, and the rats will take down, I don't know.
They also had Harley with her Spear of Destiny.
I hated Harley Quinn. I hated Harley Quinn in this film.
That's why I didn't want to bring it up at first. But
what did you think of Harley Quinn, Flip?
Honestly, I don't want anyone to ever think that I thought that was any good at all, because the truth is if we begin to accept garbage, that's all they're going to continue to give us.
Is that your opinion on the whole movie?
I mean,
yeah,
pretty much. It's just goofy and crappy, and I get your points. I agree with the rats as well.
There's things I didn't like too.
Writing, there were like brief moments of writing, like Rook was talking about them, but
I liked some of the things with like the blood sport and Peacemaker when they were going through the camp showing off.
Well, that's actually a great example of like a 5 out of 10 scene for me, because it's funny, but it's like a video game where the enemies spawn right off of camera. Like, I think that at some point because it's just one length essentially, somebody would have obviously seen them. So they set a couple people on fire. Like, I don't know. And it just seems like that's kind of dumb. I don't know. So it's like, okay, we played that off.
The Suicide Squad.
Yes, which the first scene demonstrated that clearly, which is fine. But to have it be that nobody sees them, and it was funny, but that's all it was. They could have been funnier if they did it a little, if they wrote that scene a little better. And then the chick that's supposed to help them just goes, "You killed my whole family. I'll still help you." I'm okay with her helping them to take down the government, but like, I kind of wish she showed more of her hate for them.
Yeah, she should have.
Kick King Shark in the crotch and something. I think it'd be dumb, but it's like, for her that would be justified because they all just killed her whole regime.
They glossed over.
Like, she's just
like,
I'll just be
deal with the devil. Yeah. And you're the devil, so I'll make a deal with you. But yeah, I thought she kind of looked stunned. What are you going to do? Are you going to try and attack the people that just took out everybody? Like, why?
I just think
they might just kill you too.
Well, yeah, I just think for the emotional satisfaction for that character, that we don't spend time with her, really. We don't. They try to hurry away from the scene. Like, if she had at least had a moment to express some type of anger for it, I think that could have helped her in how little we see her, because they don't spend much time. So
the pacing in the movie was also a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I agree. The whole Harley Quinn when
that threw it a little.
Like, a lot of it, I'm just like, why? Honestly, does she have superpowers? Because I don't know how she can take on people.
Is enhanced in some way, because there's also a point when she jumps on a building later.
Yeah,
it's like no one jumps like that. It's like, she's got powers.
Somebody said she has high pain tolerance. I can accept that. That's fine, because she gets fried all the time and whatever. Like I can get over that, but like when she's beaten up like over a dozen like military guys in the way that she did, it just seems like, okay, so are you Black Widow? Like you're a gymnast, psychiatrist, crazy lady. If you have super strength somehow, you should be sloppier in how you do it, or like when they punch you, you should like use that to your advantage. Because if you have like pain resistance of some kind, like I would imagine she'd be more tricky or use her talents to beat people down rather than just go full on Black Widow style. You know, I don't know. I think things that could have made it better, as Flip was saying, because like, yeah, I think that whole scene is garbage. Like, you know, even when she does the leg lock, I liked that, but I also don't, because it's like, you know, she's hanging by her wrists up there, and her whole body weight, and then she lifts the whole man's, like, dude, that's
what I was gonna say. And she's got some sort of meta power, and they even say in the movie, they're like, how many other meta people did you bring with you? And so they're implying that she's also a metahuman, which I guess they're implying that she and the Joker, based upon their dunk into the acid vat, are not just insane, but they've also got some slightly superhuman abilities. I mean, also in the beginning, she's like dodging bullets. I'm not gonna say she's dodging them, but like she's just like running side to side.
I think that's more. Works. I think that's more. They can't kill her yet, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, sure.
Plot armor at full.
Plot armor for sure, but.
Yeah, well, it's like I wish they'd make it more clear, because in the world of superheroes and stuff and their thing with powers, I want to be able to disdain, you know, like when Joker bests Batman has all these martial arts skills, weapons, technology, experience, blah blah blah. Joker
it's usually through trickery and
doesn't usually, right? He's able to manipulate something or to utilize something, weaken them, so that when he does, kind of like how Batman does to Superman, same thing he can do to Bruce or something, right? Yeah. Like it's usually, you know, or mentally messes you up so you're not thinking as straight as you are, so you can still be as strong and everything, but they've got you, he's so crazy, it's focused crazy.
Can I tell you what I was hoping for the end of the movie? Instead of them taking down Starro, I was hoping it would be like them going, let's get the fuck out of here, and then like the Justice League shows up in the background and starts taking down Starro. And maybe you don't even get to see it, or maybe it's just like Superman possibly in the background, but like they start taking down Starro, because like Starro is a Justice League threat, not a Suicide Squad threat. Yes, a Suicide Squad might have let it loose, but it's not necessarily their job to then take it down. I would have liked to see something like that come in at the end, but that's also just speculation and nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get it.
I just watching. What'd you say?
I feel stupider for having seen it.
Well, it's certainly not, and that by any means, like trying on the intelligence. It's not like what's going to happen.
Not an indie.
Like what's you know? It's just like this is happening. This person's nuts. So is this.
I'll tell you what the worst part about it is that it was the best thing on TV in months.
Yeah, that's the problem. Well, it's like, to me, it's the best of the DCEU films. I think most of them are all horrible.
Sure,
like, they're all garbage to me.
They're all like, none of them are that good, and it's crazy to me, especially because the animated series from the DC for the past like more than a decade have been awesome, and they connect, and it's like this one to that one. Flashpoint Paradox is one of my favorites, but they've got Justice League Dark, Justice League War, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Like, these things are awesome, and I'm like, how come you can't translate any of this to live action?
The script from one of the cartoons.
Carbon copy it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do Flashpoint Paradox like beat for beat, like live action, guess what? Knowing the entire story and knowing exactly how it plays out, beat for beat, I would go watch that if you just did it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad they don't do that though, because like, you know, if you're creating something, I don't know, I'd feel cheap to just kind of copy it. I guess.
Know that's not how they should do
like
it.
When people say to just copy it from the comics and make it live action, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weak to me to do
that instead of making garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
better that than here's something that we're marketing as you'll enjoy it because it's what you love, but then when you see it, it's actually not.
Right. Well, I mean, like Iron Man 1's probably one of the best examples, or the first Avengers, because it's like, I assume they're taking elements that are in the comics, but it's not so direct. It's not in every aspect from the comics. It's its own thing, but it's, using the aesthetic of the characters and, doing it in its own way, like as if it's another version of them, essentially. Right.
In a way, yeah.
I mean, like
well,
some
that's
people,
like I took it as the MCU as like it's one timeline or whatever of until now, where it's who knows.
Yeah,
but that's what it was when Iron Man started. It was like and then everything was in that kind of universe.
I suppose it's really the director and like because a lot of times, like the first time you went to see Richard Donner's Superman, or maybe you saw it on VCR tape or a DVD. I don't know.
And I'll see it at some point.
I haven't seen it yet, but the first time you see it, you're seeing that in that director's interpretation of Superman, and so everything is so, it's what you like. It's not necessarily what everyone will like, but there are certain notes and beats, and being true to the original to a certain extent, that. That's where your general audience is going to go, yeah, it was a good movie. Or, a small portion hate it and a small portion think it's the best movie on the planet. But you want to get that middle, zone where it's all the moderates, all the normies, and, some of the, diehards are really into it. But nowadays they don't.
Now, in whatever year this is, the audience wants action and seats with beverage holders, but mainly action.
Sorry.
Well, now they don't really seem to care about making what the audience likes. It's just the director's vision only, and whatever's making the money, the studio money, even if that's something else. I don't know.
Well, it's confusing to me because a lot of people, like with a lot of the current Marvel stuff, a lot of people love it, and I think a lot of it is schlock. But that's what a lot of fans like and want to see.
They're not making it for you anymore. They're not making it for any of us three here anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the Disney Plus model of it now has, the way they were scheduling it originally and now the way they're doing it, since they have Marvel and Star Wars, it's like, if you like any of those things, you have to come to us for it. And we now have weekly releases of Disney Plus shows for Marvel, and also sometimes Star Wars, Bad Batch, or Mandalorian, or Book of Boba Fett, or Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And so if you want to watch new Star Wars stuff, you have to come here. If you want to watch new Marvel stuff, you have to come here. If you want to watch Disney stuff, you have to come here. It's very compelling. And if you just have a Disney Plus subscription, you can eventually watch the shows immediately. The movies, if you want to go to a theater and see it and then get it for free later, that's an option now. Or if you want to just wait for however long until they release on Disney Plus, then you can just do that too. It's a crazy system that's been shrinking and being bought up for years and years, and it just went into hyperdrive. And now you've got everyone trying to, even cable, NBC's got the Peacock, streaming service. Cable's about to just die entirely. Talk about cutting the cord, that's gone.
Yep.
So everything's gonna be on streaming. Everything's gonna be about that. Blah. It's been over an hour. Do you guys have time to talk about robots before we go?
Yeah, about 10 minutes or so, and I can
Sure.
roll.
Tell me about these robots. There's the Tesla bot, friendly.
Well, she dances and it's really cool.
Dude, it's crazy that they put friendly as in the second thing. It's
they didn't build any tits on it. I'm surprised.
What do we think about this? Tell me about this. I don't even know.
I fucking love it. I cannot wait to see the first one walking. It's going to be outstanding. If anybody can build one of these, okay, I don't know if you've heard of Boston Dynamics, but Google if you haven't. I'm sure most people have, though. So they've perfected a lot of the how does it walk, and how does it jump, and how does it do anything, action-wise beyond just walking, running, action, flipping. They've got all that down for both the bipedals and the quadra, whatever they are, dogs and cats. They've got all that down really well. There you go. But they don't have the AI down. One of the problems is that China is way ahead with AI. And so not only that, but the military really wants it, and they'll probably buy it from anybody. And Musk wants it to be him, not for the money. We all know Musk is not about the money. But he is about making sure that the AI of the future doesn't kill humanity. And he means that with all his heart and soul.
Friendly.
Well, it will be. There will be a video screen on its face. You know, it will only be able to like walk at 5 miles an hour. It can't come running after you. You'll be able to overpower the robot as well.
Until they get a skateboard.
Now, I think the military versions or the construction versions will have much greater strength. But then again, we're also assuming that AI will come to life and, you know, want to kill us.
I think even if it doesn't, we'd all be paranoid that it will.
You know, you'd think, but if you took a sports car back to 1805, they'd probably think you're the freaking devil. You know, they'll think they're gonna die.
We've also been conditioned to expect apocalypses from all the movies that have come out that are literally just about the apocalypse, whether it be from asteroids or global warming or global disaster or nuclear disaster, or a very popular one is robot apocalypse.
Yep.
Terminator.
It's true.
iRobot, like that's a popular apocalypse scenario.
It's true. But it's not going to be that way. It's going to be a real addition to the household. I think it's going to be just outstanding.
Well, I think that was the original pitch for iRobot, was it'll be a great addition to the household.
Well, sure. And
Then they upgraded.
They killed everyone.
Centennial Man. I'm sorry. Yeah, but Centennial Man didn't.
What do you think about that design, though? What's up with the...
It's just a working model. It won't look like that. No way.
Yeah.
That's a person, right?
Yeah.
It's Johnny.
Or is that just a robot? They put the robot in a bodysuit? Like, what the heck?
There it is. That's the robot.
Don't you want to buy one?
What's really interesting about this, not the dance, that's great, though. It's the AI that they've put together with the Tesla cars. They single-handedly have the most powerful computer in the entire world now. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And Tesla has the most powerful computer in the entire world, and they're building it bigger and better. So Elon's angle here is to have control over that and build in safeties along the way so that specific thing doesn't happen. That one specific thing. If this would you rather have him doing it, or the United States military, or how about Boston Dynamics, who China now owns? They bought Boston.
I'm kind of concerned no matter what, because the whole point of artificial intelligence is as soon as it becomes intelligent enough to make itself more intelligent, then we're all screwed.
Well, currently this would be, when it comes out, we'll have just a little bit, it'll be just a little bit smarter than the Tesla car, which will also be just as smart at that time too.
But the Tesla car is smarter than, like, I got to say, what, 80% of humanity?
Sure. Can't disagree
Probably
with that.
more.
There's a lot of fucking idiots around.
So, like, it just makes me worried. Like,
Yeah.
I can see the robot apocalypse happening sometime in my lifetime. I'm not saying it's coming up in the next year.
The Tesla car is going to be the villain in the next Fast and Furious movie or something.
And it's going to be a satellite, Tesla satellite.
We got to stop Tesla.
Satellite race. We're going around the sun. We're slingshotting to the moon.
No, they got to get a DeLorean to go back in time and stop Nikola Tesla or stop Tesla, whatever. Stop all this stuff being made.
We got to stop these billionaires from trying to go to the moon, Morty. Why?
Yeah.
You'll understand when you see the future.
Let's hop in the DeLorean, Dom. There we go.
That's a great show, though.
But it's very actually. So when are these supposed to be coming out?
Well, they'll have some sort of something to show you a year from now, but I would bet about 5 years.
So in 5 years, we're going to have mandroids or androids or womandroids. I guess this depends on how you dress them.
Transroids.
I think it'd be cooler if we had more like of the amputee upgrades that can make them more like cyborgs.
Well, yeah, I think that's also something that's being progressed right now at an incredible rate. And people talk about the robot apocalypse, robots taking over. It's like that's one downside to things coming up, but one upside to us getting more understanding into this, like how technology, understanding of technology, and how we can use that to help people stay alive is like, we have artificial hearts. We now have artificial arms that can respond to like people's brain waves to grab things. Like that's huge.
Yeah. What if we had these robots and then that's when the aliens wanted to attack, but luckily we had these robots to help us fight off the aliens. That'd be dope. And when you go to, live on Mars and you need people that are strong that don't need food or water, all they need is power, and you've got plenty of that. You've got all the help you need.
As long as they don't turn against you.
Yes. Yeah. I just don't think that'll happen. Not with.
Well,
with
you
this
live in a. What are you, an optimist?
Well, when it comes to Elon, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But everyone else, no. If this were the United States government, if it were China, if it were any other private corporation, I would expect them to go and follow the money. But Elon does not follow the money. He only needs money to make the next thing he wants to make. He's an engineer at heart, and that's him.
All right. Robots, they're coming our way. Look
They
out.
literally are.
They're coming at you. They know how to walk. They'll be friendly. They can carry 45 pounds for you.
Oh, yeah.
Got to start losing weight so I can be 45 pounds and get carried around by a robot. I'm in a baby Bjorn.
He'll be able to deadlift 150. So. There you go.
All right. I'll be carried everywhere. Deadlifters.
What you really want to know is if you can fuck them.
No, they already have those, I think.
Yeah.
This one's called Leia. This one's called Leia.
I see.
No, I'm just kidding. I think we're about near the end. You guys have to go now, or do you have time to watch that Star Wars anime trailer before you go?
All right, real quick.
All right, last thing we're going to do here. I got the Star Wars Visions trailer, English dubbed, but it's the new Star Wars anime that's coming out in a month. It's coming out September 22nd.
Long ago, a great warrior came to this village and entrusted our ancestors with this. Its power and responsibility now lie with you. You've been guided by the Force since you were born.
At last, the moment arrives.
It's the first time I've confronted such darkness. Something ancient and sinister.
We're going to be a proper family.
Let's make this our best show ever.
コースと共にあらんこと。
I accept this responsibility.
What do we think?
I like it. I think
like
me and my daughter are going to enjoy the shit out of that. I don't presume that every episode's going to be good. I'm not really into the cartoony weird looking rabbit Jedi thing.
I knew a bunch of people were going to immediately go to that one. But I just want to say, I'm a fan of Halo. I played Halo back in the day. I read the novels. I liked The Matrix when that came out. I enjoyed The Matrix and I love Batman. Different styles of Batman. All three of those had their own type of anime compilation come out. Like Batman had his anime compilation, the Animatrix, the Halo, and so this. I knew for a fact there's going to be like Star Wars fans. They're going to look at this, and if they don't like anime or no anime, they're going to be like, "What is this? Ugh!
Anime.
How could you?"
Yeah.
But then there are going to be people that like Star Wars and also enjoy anime, and they're going to be like, "What?" And then there's going to be people in between who are going to be like,
I don't know about that.
You're gonna like some of it. You don't have to like all of it, by the way. That's the whole point, is to show like it's a wide universe. Look at these different stories. Look at this different, and I think it's a great. I think it looks like a lot of fun, even if there are parts that I am already like, boo. There are other parts I'm just like, yes, let's.
If they can keep, I'd probably at least just give everything a decent grade. As long as they keep politics out of it, I'm good. This looks fun. Yeah.
And it's like 7 different anime studios with 9 episodes. So you're going to get a lot of different styles, different styles suited to the different stories that they're telling for the different parts. And I got to say, I was right there with you with the bunny thing. I was just like, oof.
It might end up
like, I get it with anime
know.
and everything, but I was like, ugh. But still, I'm like, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it. Rookie, what do you think? I haven't heard from you on this at all.
I mean, I'm not a fan of what they're doing with all the lightsabers. Just, I don't know. They seem to kind of like the one that has the pole with a whole bunch of them.
A lot of people have a problem with that one. But that actually goes back to...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's just there's a classic film with a guy that has a weapon just like that, and I think they're going directly back to that.
I guess because in like the other shows they've done with Star Wars, like they keep on having like helicopter lightsabers, and just,
I didn't like that. By the way,
like,
I watched Rebels. I watched Rebels, and I was like, "There's so much good about this." The bad things. Here's the bad things. Filler episodes. Get rid of them. Let's just get back to the and then the whole lightsaber as a helicopter thing. That's not what lightsabers are, and don't ever do that.
Filler episodes done right can still be good. Like
I agree with that.
To expand the world, it's taken a little side tour from the main thing, but can still help either character moments or world building. But sometimes they can also be shitty and lame, and you're like, why were we here?
And there were some of those that I liked, but for the most part, I was just like, this doesn't matter. This is like an episode to fill time between like the storyline that's going on, Yeah.
To me, this doesn't really like. I would just think this is a new anime, not really Star Wars specific. Just a similar thing to Star Wars, but it's just a new anime show.
I think that's the way to think about it.
That's how I kind of feel about
anime first, and then like it's an anime. Star Wars
with a Star Wars aesthetic, kind of
right.
But yeah, that's kind of how I would think about it. Yeah, because it just seems like it's its own thing, and then there's also lightsabers instead of a sword, or there's the Force instead of magic. It fits right in with the typical anime, just with something we're all familiar with.
Exactly, and that's why I likened it to like that Batman anime series that they did, the Halo, the Animatrix, and that was also again different styles of art to tell different stories for different reasons. I think that's really interesting when you let the studio, it's like this is the type of art that they do, this is the type of story that they make. You just let them use Star Wars at it's like you're not going to be sued by them for doing it. You actually get to use Star Wars within it. And so I think it'll be pretty interesting to see these, and it's such a trailer because it's showing you tiny clips from 7 different studios that's telling 9 stories, so there's definitely going to be, you might like some and not others, and that's okay.
I already watched some of these studios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, I think that's about it for this episode of the Kerfuffle. We have kerfuffled ourselves right out. Great discussion. I'm really glad I could have both my guests with me today, the Rookie Critic and Flipped Out, founders of the Fandom Collective. Again, you got to check that out. It's all down in the description. You can get links to everything. Rookie, got anything to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I'm about to do a stream on the Collective talking about my thoughts on Citizen Kane, which you'll see them then, I suppose.
And you're doing that right now?
In 20 minutes or so.
Okay, it's coming up.
My whole list are films I've not seen before, so I just watched that one, and yeah.
So check that out, Rookie Critic coming up, and he's watching films he hasn't seen before, so he's going to have more reviews and things like that coming up. And I know Rookie Critic from watching your channel. You want to be a director, right? You want to make movies. Yep. You're passionate about this stuff. You know about this stuff. You enjoy talking about this stuff. So check out the Rookie Critics channel, as well as Flipped Out. Anything to say before we check out?
Yeah, make sure that you guys are out there supporting each other. Even if you just go by someone else's channel and hit like for a second, like do whatever you can, because the only thing we suffer from is not helping each other. We screw ourselves not by hoping the algorithm will help us, but because we don't use it to our advantage. And the only way we can do that is doing it together. So do that. And if you're down with that, come to the Fandom Collective and we'll help you out with some marketing and promotion as well. So thanks for having me.
Glad you could be here. Both of you, Fandom Collective, that's the place to check out. Rise together. All the links for everything is in the description below. And we thank you very much for joining us on this episode, second episode of the Kerfuffle. Plan to have many more guests, and hopefully have these two great gentlemen back on future episodes. But for now, we're going to